Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see a very interesting topic. We will be learning a CrewAI, which is a open source agentic framework. As we all know that agentic AI is booming into the market, and it became very important to learn how exactly we can build the agentic application. And in order to build the agentic application, there are many platforms which provides the feasibility to build the agentic framework. And CrewAI is one of the open source framework, which is again gaining a popularity because of its simple nature, because it is very easy to build the agents with the help of CrewAI. So basically, CrewAI is a multi-agent orchestration framework, and that help us build collaborative AI teams. And in CrewAI, the agentic team, we call it as Crew. And in this, each agent has its own role. It has their specific goals and tasks. And with the help of these role, goals, and tasks, it becomes easy for the CrewAI to manage the agentic workflows and the manage the agent's conversation. So let's understand the basic principle of the generative AI, or let's understand how exactly the agents are helping us. So what we have is, let's say, LLM, and whenever we are passing any input to the LLM, it generates the output, right? So LLM has a capability which is trained on a large data set, right? And which has the capability to, whenever we are passing any input, generate an output or basically predict the next word. And the LLM are non-actionable entities now. As the LLMs are not actionable, in order to give the capability for our LLMs to take action on, we use agents. And agents has the capability to take the reactive action. Basically, LLM is like the generative AI is evolving beyond the chatbot kind of functionality, because with LLMs we have seen how chatbot have grown efficiently, and with the LLM it became very easy. Whenever you are asking any questions, it is giving very proper results, but it was not capable of taking any actions. And with the help of agents, we have given capability for our LLM to take actions so that we can automate a workflow. So agents are helping us in breaking down the large or breaking down the complex problems into simple small tasks, and then each agents we can assign in order to perform those tasks. So that's the basic role of agent. Now, coming to the Crew AI, let's understand what are the key features that the Crew AI provides. As it is a multi-agent collaboration where agents collaborate, communicate with each other, and solve a task together. So whatever is our complex task, it will be break down into simple small task, and we will assign single agent in order to complete or accomplish that particular task. Then it is a LLM agnostic, meaning it works with the different LLM. Like we can integrate OpenAI, we can integrate Gemini, we can have Olama, Anthropic, any, like there are multiple large language models or the different platform which provides the large language model. It can easily integrate with those models or integrate with those platform, and you can add the LLM capability for our agent. Then it is a built-in autonomy where each agent has its goal, memory, and tools. So not only it is performing the goals, but it also has a capability, it stores the memory, and it has tools in order to take action. So we can connect the external tools in order to take or in order to accomplish a customized task. And it has a structured workflows which becomes easy to define the task sequence across agent, because in multi-agent framework you might be aware that the conversation handling between the agent is a very critical task, because whenever you are building multiple agents, it becomes critical to manage the conversation. There should be a proper structured flow in order to complete your task, and that is where is easily managed with the help of CrewAI. And as it is an independent framework, there is no LangChain needed. Most of the open source framework you might have seen that it requires a LangChain dependency in order to, let's say, integrate a tool functionality or in order to integrate to these LLM agnostic workflows. But with CrewAI, it is very lightning fast, and it is fully standalone, and it is also lightweight as well. So whenever we are building the CrewAI agents, you will get to know that how fast it is. The execution is very fast. Plus, the building the agentic framework is also very easy with the help of CrewAI. So CrewAI offers one of the very simple platform which helps us build the multi-agent framework. Let's understand what exactly the component of Crew AI. So first comes the crew. So this crew is nothing but the total collection of agents. In that crew, we can have multiple agent. So for a crew, Along with the agents, as you can see, we can integrate tools, and these agents have LLM capability, and also it can store the memory as well. And then each agent can perform its individual task. And once the task execution is done, we can get a final outcome. So that is the way these agentic AI framework work under the Crew. And it is very simple. So in order to generate a Crew, we just need these details. We need agent, we need tools, task. Based on our necessity, we can integrate these, we can define their flow, and we are done. Now let's understand what is the simple way of defining the agents or creating a Crew. So first of all, we can just define the agents, whatever number of agents we want. Let's say we want 2 agents, so we can define the number of agent here. Once the number of agents are defined, we just need to create a task. So we will be creating different tasks, and then we will be forming the Crew. And once the Crew is formed, we just need to kick off the Crew. It is that simple. So let's understand this with the help of simple example. Let's say we have a patient and doctors. So we want to build a platform where patient can come, ask their queries, and based on the patient's symptoms, doctor can suggest the treatment. We just need to build that simple application. So what will happen is, first of all, we need to define the agent. So there will be one patient agent, there will be one doctor agent. Patient agent can have one task where patient needs to put in what are the symptoms that patient have. Then there will be another task for doctor in order to suggest the treatment against that particular symptom. And then we will just be forming the Crew. We will be collecting these agents, and we will be collating these tasks. We will be forming the Crew, and once the Crew is formed, we can just kick off those particular Crew. Once we kick off the Crew, what will happen is it will start the conversation from patient. It will take the queries, it will pass it to the doctor. Doctor will suggest the treatment, and that suggested treatment will be handed back to the patient. So without wasting time, we'll just quickly see how we can exactly code this particular simple example where we'll be building patient and doctor agents. So let's straight jump into the coding part. Okay, so let's start with creating a virtual environment. So let's open our terminal and quickly create a virtual environment. Python -n venv. So we'll be creating a virtual environment with the name venv. You can see virtual environment is getting created. Okay, now we just need to install 2 dependencies. Let's activate the environment. venv scripts activate. Environment is activated. We just need to install 2 dependencies. So let's install that. Pip install CrewAI, and second dependency we need is the python.env in order to store the secrets. So let's go ahead and install those 2 dependencies. Let's go ahead and create a main file where we will be writing this particular code. And let's start writing our agentic framework. So first of all, we need to define which large language model that we will be using. So in order to create the large language model, so here we'll be using a Gemini model. So we'll be using Gemini 2.0 Flash model, which is an open source model. So you no need to pay any charges against that. And that's where we'll be utilizing that particular model. But before using that model, you need to create that key in order to consume the model. So in order to create the key, it is very simple. Go to Google Gemini key, just search Google Gemini key, and open Google Gemini API. Once you open that, you can go to Google AI Studio. And once you go to Google Open AI Studio, here you can click on Get API Key. And then from here, you can create a key. You will need an Google account. So with your help of your Google account, you can quickly create that. Here you can select your project. But first of all, you need to create a project. So in order to create the project, you can search Google Cloud project, and you can see Google Cloud Platform. Just open Google Cloud Platform, and here you can create your first project. Now you can see here I have created my first project. Now in order to create the project, you will need an active Google account, plus it may ask you to enter your card details, but it won't charge you. So there is some free limit. You can create free projects under that, and once you have created that project, then you will be able to create this particular key. So here, come here, just click on create key, select your project, and then hit create an API key. And once the API key is created, go ahead and add that particular key into your environment file. So let's go ahead and create our env file. And here I am going to add my secrets. So first of all, while adding the secret, you just use this particular Gemini API key. Make sure you are passing this correct parameter, Gemini API key, then only your code will work. So I will put my key here, and then you can enter your key, and then once your key is available here, then you can come and start writing the code. Okay, so I have already added my key. So let's go ahead and start writing our doctor and patient agents. So first of all, go ahead and import the necessary dependencies that are required. So from CrewAI, you can import agent, task, crew, and LLM. So as we discussed earlier, we will need to build agent, then task, then crew will help us to build the crew, form a crew, and we can kick off that. And LLM is required in order to add LLM capability for our agent. And then load env is in order to load the secret that we have stored into the environment file. So let's go ahead and initialize the LLM. It is very simple initializing the LLM. You can see we just need to import the LLM class, and there we need to define Gemini 2.0 flash model, and temperature, you can set any temperature value. Now let's start writing our agent. So first, let's go ahead and write a patient agent. And writing agent is very easy in CrewAI. You can see patient agent, we just need to use agent class, and then we need to define role as patient, goal, describe symptoms and seek medical advice. Backstory, a concerned individual experiencing discomfort and looking for clarity on their health. And then we need to give LLM and verbose. Now, role and goal make sense, but what is backstory? So backstory is like whenever you are using any LLM, you make sure that you define the scope of that particular agent, that, okay, what exactly the task of agent. Let's say you are a teacher agent. You are a teacher who is experiencing, let's say, science and technology. That's how you give some backstory to the LLM application. That is what we are giving here. We are restricting the use case of our agent so that it can not hallucinate, and it will start giving responses in with respect to this particular backstory. So that's the reason a very good functionality available in CrewAI where you can define the backstory. Now, verbose equals to true in order to print the conversation that is happening. So at the end, whenever we'll print the results, you will see how exactly the conversation is happening. The next one, let's go ahead and define the doctor. So now we have doctor agent. The role is doctor. Provide a possible diagnosis and next steps based on the symptoms. So whatever symptoms the patient is facing, based on that, provide the possible diagnosis. And again, backstory, a highly experienced general physician known for accurate remote assessment and patient care. As we are building this virtual assistant, doctor assistant, that is where we have given a general physician known for accurate remote assessment. So this is the backstory. Now this agent will make sure that whatever LLM will be using will not hallucinate, and it will only perform this particular task. It will only act as a doctor. Now here, as we have mentioned, we have defined the agent. Now it's time to create the task. So let's go ahead and create the task. So first of all, let's create the patient task. So you can pass a description in the task. See, we have used task class from the crew, and then we need to pass the description. You are experiencing the following symptoms. Here we can pass our custom symptom and clearly explain these symptoms to the doctor and request a diagnosis and advice curve. And expected output, a structured summary of symptoms to present to the doctor. And then which agent will be using patient agent. So this task will take an input from patient. It will format that input in the desired format in which the doctor agent is looking for. Then it will generate that particular format, and it will request the doctor agent to give the summary against the symptoms of patient. So let's go ahead and pass the patient summary first. So let's say our patient is facing this particular issue. I have been a sore throat, mild fever, and dry cough for last 3 days. I'm also feeling fatigue and have slight headache. Should I be worried? So this is the patient symptoms. Now that patient symptom we have passed to the patient task, and in patient task you can see we have defined agent as patient agent. So the task of patient agent is only to format the response. Now let's define the task of doctor agent. So here you can see in the doctor agent, we have given description as you receive the patient symptoms description, meaning that patient agent will pass this patient symptom description, analyze the information and provide a likely diagnosis. First provide a diagnosis, immediate next steps like raised medication test, etc. Advice on whether to visit a clinic or hospital, and then make sure your Advice is actionable and easy to understand. And expected output is short and clear diagnosis with next steps and recommendation, so that we can pass these recommendations to the patient. Now you can see this particular virtual doctor assistant will understand the patient symptom, and then accordingly it will give the recommendations for patient. Okay, what should the patient do, whether patient should visit to the clinic or patient will be able to cure at home by following the remedies that doctor will suggest. As this task is done now, where we have defined the task as well, now it's time to form a crew. And forming crew is very easy, where we will collaborate multiple agents. As we have two agents defined, let's go ahead and collect those two agents and create a crew. So creating crew is again very easy. You can call a crew class, and inside that you just need to mention the list of agents and list of patient, and that's it. You can see in the list of agents we have defined patient agent, doctor agent, and in the task we have patient task, doctor task. That's it. Whatever these things that we have defined, like two agents, two tasks, we have defined them into the crew, and now it's time to kick off the crew. Now the only last step is remaining is to kick off the crew. And in order to kick off that, you can see we just need to pass crew, whatever crew we have created, dot kickoff. Done. That's it. Within a less than 50 lines of code, you are able to build a multi-agent framework. Two agents you have built, you have given tasks to those agents, and you are done. And kicking off that particular agentic conversation is also very easy. If you go ahead and check out other agentic framework like AutoGen or BabyGen, then you will find that starting the agent conversation itself is a bit tricky. But here you can see you just need to define the crew and you need to kick off that crew. So we are ready. Let's go ahead and execute this. So for execution, write Python main.py and let's see. You will see now the conversation will start between the agents, and it will print all the conversation details as well. Okay, you can see crew execution started. Name is crew. It has generated one ID. You can see first agent started. First agent is patient. You are experiencing the following symptom. That is the symptom that we have given. Then first agent, patient agent's final answer. This is the patient agent final answer. You can see agent patient final answer. Hello doctor. It has converted that patient symptom into the desired format that the doctor agent is looking for. So you can see, hello doctor, I am here today because I have been experiencing few symptoms, and it has given those symptoms: sore throat, which started mildly but has become consistently present, mild fever, and all those details. Beyond these symptoms, I am also feeling fatigue and all those details. Given these symptoms, please suggest a diagnosis. Now, in order to suggest the diagnosis, you can see the task of first agent is completed. You can see now, next, assigned to patient status completed, meaning the first task that was there to create the patient details, that is completed. Now, second agent started, agent doctor, and task you received the patient agent. This is the task of that particular agent. You can see the task is completed. Now, agent final answer. This is the agent, doctor agent's final answer. Based on your symptoms, a viral upper respiratory infection, cold, flu, or potentially COVID-19 is the most likely diagnosis. Immediate next steps include rest, hydration, and over-the-counter medications for fever, headache, and sore throat. Closely monitor your symptom. Seek medical attention if you experience difficulty breathing, high fever, etc., etc. And if you have underlying health conditions, consider getting tested for COVID-19. So that is what it has given, and then the task completed and the crew completion. At the end, crew completion is done, and this is the final answer. So you can see it is that easy, like, and how, as we have given verbose equals to true here, it is printing all the agent conversation that is happening. You can see how beautifully it has done the execution, how beautifully it has handled the conversation between the two agents. And if you are enabling memory later on, you can see how beautifully you can store these conversations and how easily you will be able to extract these conversations and help interact with the past conversation as well. So yeah, this is how simple building the CrewAI is. And congratulations, as you have built your first agentic AI framework with the help of CrewAI. And I hope this was helpful for you and you like this particular session. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share it with your friends. And if you are interested in more such videos, please ping me down in the comment section. I will plan to cover more real-time projects. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you so much and see you soon in the next video.